Hi guys, and welcome to this next tutorial. Today's tutorial is going to deal with inserting and placing these internal doors inside the cottage. If I have a quick look at the floor plan here, we can see that there are two internal doors. They are hinged or swung doors, and we can see that they are hinged on the right hand side for the bedroom door and hinged on the left hand side for the laundry bathroom door. Both doors are going to be just a standard internal door, nothing overly fancy. If we have a look at the other doors involved in the plan, we've got a hinged front door, and if we look over here to the left, it looks like a window at first, but in actual fact that's a sliding glass door as well. But let's first of all focus on the hinged internal doors. Information about the doors, nothing really other than just saying in joinery, saying that it's bronzed anodized aluminium, which means that's the aluminium frame going around the windows, but that doesn't relate to the doors. Okay, let's go to Archicad, and we can see that we've got a problem in that we can't see inside of our actual object because we put that ceiling in there last lesson. So what we'll do is we're going to use a function here where we can turn these layers on and off. So I'm going to select the ceiling just by left clicking, and then right click, hold my cursor down, and then come down to the layers icon here, and you can see that one of the options we have is we could hide that layer. So I'm going to click on hide layer, and the ceiling appears to disappear like you've deleted it. Well, it hasn't been deleted, it's just that we've turned the layer off that the ceiling was on. And then we can see inside, which is handy. To turn that back on, it's really quite simple. You just go to Control L on your keyboard, and this is the layer settings dialog box. And if we remember that we put that layer on slab ceiling, so if we just type S for slabs, it takes us towards there. And you can see here, there's the slab ceiling layer, and the eyeball beside it is turned off. So any layer that you wish to turn on and off, it's just simply a matter of you can go into the layer settings here and turn it off by clicking off the eyeball, or you can click onto it in the 3D view, right click, hide layer, and to turn things back on again, you just simply click back onto the eyeball, click OK, and you can see that it comes back on again like so. So just to recap, to turn a layer off, you can select it, right click, layer, hide layer, and then obviously Control L to turn it back on again. Okay, so that's turning layers on and off. Let's now though insert some of these internal doors. And to insert the doors, I'm going to go to my ground floor view, and I'm going to go to my doors in the toolbox, open up the doors in the info box, and we are presented here with a library of all sorts of things. So if I just want to get your head around how this library works, you can see at the top here we have an embedded library. That's when you bring in objects from, say, the internet or from the internet. And below that, this is the library of all the objects and features that Archicad 19 comes standard with. So you can see it's got linked libraries, Archicad 19, object library, and within there we have furnishings, and these are related just to doors, doors and so on. So what you do, you basically go through these different folders looking for the type of door that you're after. Now it's good when you're first using Archicad just to have a look at all these folders to actually see what's at your disposal. Obviously it opens up a whole lot more design options when you know what you've got to play with. Sliding doors, sliding folding doors, storefronts, you name it. But today for these internal doors we're just after some hinge doors. I'm going to come down to the previews here and just scroll down. I'm just going to choose the most basic internal door, door 19, select it there. Come over to the info about that selected door, and you can see that it's 900 wide, it's 2100 high, which matches the joinery height in our floor plan. And this is a little preview looking down on top of what the actual door looks like. You can select these other preview options here to see what it looks like. 3D and so on. I normally go back to the 2D one, doesn't really matter for this one much at all. Okay, then the next important dialog box is this hinge door settings. Now there are absolutely 1,000 things you can change about doors, but what I will get you to do is just to click onto the box that says frame and leaf or whatever it might say. Actually, it probably comes up with this one first on yours, I think. And by clicking this box, these are all of the different options that you can change about these doors. So let's click on, first of all, nominal sizes and tolerances. And here's where you can change things about the actual width of the door, the height, and so on. But let's just leave that as default. Go to the next one down. Door settings and openings. So at the moment, look at the door leaf, a door leaf or door panel, I suppose. And it appears to be like a timber frame with a glass panel in it. Now, if this is for a bedroom and also a bathroom, a glass panel probably isn't going to be appropriate, unless, of course, you frosted that glass. So I'm going to leave that there, but you could click on there and you could choose all these different styles of doors that you've got for the leaf. But I'm just going to leave mine simple, and what I'm going to do later on is I'm going to frost that glass anyway. It does need a handle though, so let's click on handle. And being an internal door, probably just something fairly simple. That one there will do me. And looking over here, you've got the ability to change it from a side hung door to a double acting door. Double acting is like the ones you might see in a restaurant where waiters are walking through doors from both ways. This natural ventilation, don't worry about that. It just provides airflow over the top and so on. So what we'll do, we'll go back to our box and go to the next one down. We've done the handle, opening type and angle. There's really nothing that we need to change here. The only thing that you might want to take notice of here is this says that in 2D, which is what we're seeing up here, the opening angle is 90 degrees. And when we insert the door, it's saying 3D opening angle is 0 degrees or shut. You can change that so that the doors appear to be open as well. But I'll show you how to do that once we've inserted it. Opening lines, look, there's probably no need to change any of that. Model attributes, so this is where you might want to change some things. At the moment, you can see here that it gives us the materials that the frame and the leaf are assigned to. So the frame surface outside is currently timber, pine, grained, horizontal. So if you wanted to change the material of each door, you can actually change that here. So this is glass clear, you could change it to glass, something else opaque, or it's going to be. So that's a handy spot to know about, so you can change materials. I'm not going to do it right now because I can show you how we can do it later on as well. Wall opening, there's nothing really there that we need to do. Reveal, wall closures, and look, this is part of the program that if you're an architect or if you're a building designer, you'd spend a lot of time getting just right, but we don't really need to concern ourselves. Look, you've got the ability to put thresholds in, which is like, I suppose, where you might step and so on. You've got the ability to change the sills to brick to all different sorts of things, casing, and it goes on. You can put sunshades on the doors, which might be something that you might want to consider as well. You can see put that style of a sunshade on. Just turn that off though. I don't really want that. Where are we? Back to here. Model attributes. Once again, that's about the casing, and the rest of it I don't think we need to worry about. That's just the different types of lines, how they appear in floor plan, and so on. So the only one that I think I missed, which we do need to know about, is a tab here. I think it's in frame and leaf. Here it is here, frame and leaf. As a default, this button here is unchecked. I'll just uncheck it to show you. Frame thickness equals wall thickness. If you look on the preview, you can see here that the red lines represent the door frame. The black lines represent the wall thickness. So it would be very uncommon for the door frame to be wider than the wall thickness. So we do need to check this button under frame and leaf, saying frame thickness equals wall thickness. Then we can take note of these three buttons here just before we go inserting it. These three buttons here relate to how you're going to insert it, whether you're going to choose its midpoint, point on the left, or point on the right. So I'm just going to choose the point on the right, just for argument's sake. And then the last thing to do is to come down to the dimension marker. This is a way of marking a door so you can easily tell what size it is and so on. So click on dimension marker. And from the dimension marker list here, what I want you to do is to choose the simple one below no marker, basic window door skylight marker. And I need you to change the height of the text. I think it's default to 2. I want you to change that to 0.8. And this is a preview here. Basically what it does, it says this is door number 2 and it's 900 by 2100. We'll see when we insert the door how that looks. Okay, that's all done. Let's click OK. Let's insert the door now. So I'm just going to come to this part of the drawing here. Now you can see here that as I hover over a wall, that the door kind of wants to jump onto and highlight itself to the wall there. There's a little what do you call it, sun icon on one side, which normally would indicate the opening side, or the side that's, sorry, not swung. So I'm going to just click once to position the door just randomly. I'm not going to make it exact just yet. I'll show you how to edit that later on. So I've clicked once, but now I'm given options as to which way I want the door to swing, inside or outside, left and right, just by moving my cursor. So you see I've got my cursor probably sort of at 5 o'clock. Move it up to 2 o'clock, you can see that I've got it swinging that side, across to 10 o'clock, and then across to sort of 8 o'clock, you can see how it changes. So I want to get the door in that correct position, or in the correct swing position, just by clicking once again up there like so. And you can see that it inserts the actual door marker as well. The problem is though, is that the door is not in the correct position. It needs to go further over and be almost in that corner there. So I'm going to get out of door insert. I'm going to go to my arrow key, or my arrow in the toolbox. And to select doors, it's easiest to select them from the end of that symbol there. So click once onto it. Zoom in on that area. Click and hold on one of these nodes, the black node. I'll click and hold on the inside black node here. And one of the options that comes up in this pet palette is drag. If it came up with move node, just come across and select drag. And then you can drag that door wherever you want it to go to. And because I clicked that node, I can then bring that node over, wait for the snap of the end of that wall, and click. And you can see we've successfully moved that door very accurately to its correct position. Okay, so repeat that same process then for the second internal door. Let's quickly do it. Door, make sure it's all still the same. Yes, it is. Somewhere on that wall. Still got that door selected, that was my problem. Okay, back to here we go. Somewhere on that wall there. I want it to swing that way, so I click in the top left corner. Select that door. Zoom in. Click and hold on that node. Bring it across. Wait for the snap. Move to that position. Okay, let's have a look at that in 3D as well. Yes, so we can see the doors there. I'm going to move in a little bit to have a look at these doors a little bit closer. And doors are great, but they're probably even better if they're open so we can sort of see through them, I suppose. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select one of the doors. And whenever you select a door, you'll notice, well, even before you select it, you notice that you've got this dashed line here, which represents the handle position. So where these dashed lines meet, there should be a little pink dot. Can't really see it that well here, but if I click and hold on that pink dot, another option comes up in the pet palette saying opening angle. So I type A for angle, and not 180, but I type, say, I don't know, 60 degrees, hit enter. You'll see that, whoa, the door went a little bit too far behind me, went way behind me. Okay, let's try that again. That was incorrect. Try that again. This time I might try and make it easier. I might just go for 90 degrees. There we go, and we can see that our door is actually open. If you make a change to a door and you want the other doors to be exactly the same, I'll show you one little handy tool that you can do. Let's say that I had changed some of the materials on one of these doors, so I'm going to actually do that. So I'm going to change door 19 in that door, so I'm going to go to door settings, click in the box, go find frame and leaf, model attributes, and let's just make this frame surface something different. So I'm going to click on the arrow there. I'm also going to make it red just for argument's sake, and same for this one. I'm going to make it red, click OK. You see a lot of difference there, so I'll just do that again. Nothing really changed. Go down to the surface outside, this should make a big difference. Red and red. Okay to that. Okay, we can see it's changed in color. Now, if that was something that you wanted the other doors to also feature or be like, rather than having to go into that door and change it, there's a function within the program which allows you to pick up the properties of features and inject them into other features. If you have a look up here in the top toolbox, you see you've got a little eyedropper which allows you to pick up parameters, and then you've got a syringe that allows you to inject those parameters or features, I suppose. So click on the eyedropper, come across to the door that you've made the changes to, highlight the door, click once. What that does, that sucks up the properties of this door into the syringe, if you like. Click onto the syringe, move the syringe over, wait for that door to highlight and click once, and it will also then change the properties of that door to match the properties of this one. You can do that in 2D, 3D, whatever you'd like. It's quite handy to do. Okay, that'll probably do for this lesson. So you've been introduced into doors, you know how to position them, you know how to insert them. There's a couple options to change, and the ceilings, of course, how to turn that on and off. Okay.